welcome back. Pluto has left Capricorn for the next 250 years, making this its final ingress into Aquarius, and I thought it was important that we talk about it because it is such a long transit. So Pluto went into Aquarius on November 19th, and it will remain there until 2044, so that's 20 years. That's a big transit representing a lot of changes, so just wanted to talk real quick about what those changes might be and what they might look like for us on an individual level. Aquarius is inherently forward-looking. It's about the future, and Capricorn is more past-oriented. It's traditional, it's about our traditions, and it's more centered around the physical experience, whether that's the physical body or our physical lives, the work that we do, the jobs that we go to. Capricorn affects our daily lives. Pluto went through Capricorn and kind of cleared out whatever our attachments to traditions and the past and more of the physical aspects of our lives. Pluto in Aquarius is different in that it wants to clear ideas about the future that are getting in the way of actually realizing the future, if that makes sense. So when we have an expectation, something presents itself that is not what our expectation is, good or bad, we often reject it, we back up. So Pluto is coming to clear out what those ideas are and any attachments that we have to the future we think is coming. Pluto in Aquarius often represents an era of revolution and innovation historically, and I'm going to go over the historical aspects of Pluto in Aquarius transits in another video. This one is just for you, for your individual chart. We can compare what these transits have done historically to what's happening now to kind of see how this is going to affect us individually. The sign of Aquarius is opposite Leo. So where Leo is about the individual, Aquarius is about the community, it's about the group. Leo is about what's best for itself and for individuals, and Aquarius is about what's best for all of humanity. A Pluto transit often signifies a passing of the torch between generations. When we look at all of the different generations that we label boomers, millennials, Gen X, Gen Z, most of them fall within a specific transit of Pluto. For instance, Pluto in Scorpio would be the millennial generation. My generation, Gen X, is Pluto in Libra primarily. The boomers are usually associated with Pluto and Leo, and so on. So when Pluto changes the sign that it's transiting, we often see the interests of one generation being passed to the next generation. So one generation may be primarily heading up the change, the upcoming changes, or the changes that society is making. And then as Pluto transits into a new sign, another generation takes over. Most of the time. This transit is likely to clear a path through the dated, to clear a path through what has become obsolete in order to make room for what the next generation on this planet wants to see realized. Aquarius is focused on the social aspects of life and the future, suggesting that we're moving towards a more inclusive way of thinking. Aquarius embodies innovation, invention, and advancements in technology. It's a sign that's defined by community, society, and freedom. As Aquarius looks towards the future, it's also about discerning what's best for humanity, which is not to say that sometimes the innovations of Aquarius have caused harm to humanity. It's just that the inspiration was meant to serve humanity. So, like, for example, the cotton gin was invented during an Aquarius transit, a Pluto and Aquarius transit, meant to serve humanity, right? That's what the cotton gin was for. Unfortunately, it had the side effect of not causing, but greatly exacerbating slavery in this country. So the intention might be good, but it's important during this time to think about what the side effects or the adverse effects of any invention in our own lives, in the world around us, might be, because generally we're doing something that is completely new to us, that is a completely new idea. So to not consider the consequences of that is sort of naive. So as Pluto continues this transit through Aquarius, we should be expecting over the next 20 years transformations that are going to impact our daily lives. Pluto represents power and control. It exposes our passions, our fears, and our obsessions. Plutonian revelations are almost never comfortable. It's important to remember that. It will be uncomfortable. Whatever you have in Aquarius in your chart will be put in a state of discomfort for sure. But it's important to remember that Pluto only goes through this part of your chart one time. So it's a stranger in whatever house you have Aquarius in. As other planets have been transiting that house, like Mars and Saturn and the Sun, you've become accustomed to the way they behave there. That's become comfortable. When Pluto goes through there, never been there before, there's an alien in that house. I don't like it. I want them to leave. The way that Pluto behaves in whatever house you have Aquarius in will feel alien. And it wants us to let go of something. And when something that you don't trust, something that is unfamiliar, says, I want you to let go of this thing that you've never been asked to let go of before, we often resist. That's human nature. And we can feel that we are being betrayed or that we are in some kind of danger. So there's a lot of fear associated with Pluto transits in general. But when Pluto moves on, we often wonder how it was that we didn't see that what we were holding on to wasn't good for us. So hindsight is 20/20, but often we'll look back on a Pluto transit like, yeah, of course I needed to let that thing go. I mean, that's obvious. Or it might feel like I really didn't want to let that thing go. Like we might not be in a place of perfect acceptance and all zen about it, that Pluto took a job that we had become very attached to. However, we may also be able to see the silver lining after the fact. So in addition to the letting go piece, Pluto is associated with psychological issues and transforming trauma. So expect new and unconventional ideas to be coming through you, as well as in your surroundings. This time, this Pluto transit will reshape our ideas of what is possible and our understanding of what is possible, and that piece can be really exciting. We're likely to see technology transforming our society and our communities, and we may see people, or we may ourselves be experiencing some obsession with technology and some fear around it and how it affects our world and our daily lives. You can see some of that in the TikTok ban, which has come up again in the news. But overall, there's, some fear around AI. There's fear around what the future looks like with all of this technology. So the piece where people are afraid is common with any Pluto transit. Whatever Pluto is transiting, that's where our fear is focused. So some of it may feel blown out of proportion. Some of it's valid. Only time will tell. We may also witness obsession from others or from ourselves about our concepts of what freedom is. Aquarius is a very freedom-loving sign. It's very unique. With a Pluto transit, technical advancement will cause a lot of shifts in power dynamics and kind of a rush to be the one in control of the latest technology in an effort to gain power over others. This may also speak to what we want our ideas of freedom to look like versus what someone else might want their idea of power to look like. This is a time for inclusivity and for standing up for the underdog and to remember our own innovative spirit. We were given some hints regarding what the focus of this transit will be when Saturn and Jupiter entered Aquarius together on December 16th of 2020, and that transit lasted through like the second week of January in 2021. But during that time was kind of like, I'm showing you what's coming up in the future. So if you look back on what you were doing, what you were thinking, what plans you were making for your future, or how that time might have changed what you expected to come in the future, that's speaking to this transit right now. And following the transit in 2020 and 2021, there was also when Pluto made its first ingress, because this is actually the second one, when Pluto made its first ingress into Aquarius back in March of 2023, it was the end of March, until June of 2023, that was also a period where it's, hey, I'm giving you some more hints for the future. So comparing for yourself what was going on in your life during those times will help you to navigate this current 20-year transit that will go into the next 20 years of your future. You can also look to how it was showing up in public. So looking back at your own life, as well as looking at, what were the popular news stories of that time. That can also help trigger, your own memory as far as, oh, I remember when that happened. And what I was thinking was that, this is how it was going to change my personal future. Maybe this was going to cause me to leave the country. There was a lot of revealing of previously sealed documents during that time. And looking back on that might have had some kind of impact on you. And that can help you to navigate this transit. So now we're going to discuss what the Pluto transit means for each individual rising sign. For Aquarius rising, Pluto will be transiting your first house. So you can expect major transformation in your own identity and your personal presentation. So you may change your whole look into something more Aquarian, which would be fun. I would do that just for fun. You're likely to gain a deeper understanding of who you are and how you want to be perceived by others, as well as what your impact on others is. You may feel a genuine Aquarian nature that comes to the surface that may have been repressed a little bit or a lot in the past. So an Aquarius rising it's a unique placement, and you may have at some point been told that it was unacceptable and repressed that. And this would be a time when that's not happening anymore. And all of your Aquarian, I think it's a beautiful sign. So all of your very cool Aquarian stuff is going to be out there for the world to see. And cool, that's a good thing. In some ways, you're an avatar for this time and this transit. People who are born with Pluto in the first house, like in their natal chart, will find themselves almost an avatar for their generation. So similar, but for you, it's for this transit. So you may feel very connected to the innovations of this time and to social movements, social shifts. You may feel more connected to them than the people around you. So just know that that's okay. That's you. Do you. For Capricorn rising, Pluto will be in your second house. This is likely to prompt you to reassess your values and your approach to your finances. You might experience a revolutionary change in how you view material wealth, going from one extreme to the other. If it was the most important thing in your life, it may become meaningless. And if it was meaningless, it may become the most important thing in your life. This could lead you to new income streams and financial restructuring. You may also use technology to increase your earnings in some way, or to manifest your vision of where your personal wealth is concentrated. Pluto in the second usually looks like drastic changes to wealth that will sway back and forth in both directions. And this is because of the length of the transit. So you're likely to experience both extremes. When you're up, try to save for the times when you will likely be down. But remember that it's a Pluto transit. Controlling it is unlikely. So try to just roll with it and learn how to, remain yourself and be yourself in both situations. Because Pluto is power and control, it could override your best and most responsible intentions. So again, just do the best you can and roll with it. If you have Sagittarius rising, Pluto's in your third house. This could reshape your communication style and your learning processes. You may find yourself digging deeper into subjects that matter to you and transforming the way that you speak to others. You may also change a lot about the way that you think about yourself. This is a great time to identify and evict your inner critic. It's difficult. It's a very difficult time for lying to yourself. And if you have a critic inside your head who lies to you in horrible ways, this is a great time to just say, out, I'm not listening to you anymore. Oftentimes, Pluto transits are revealing places where we're being dishonest with ourselves. And that can really be unnerving because we didn't know we were being dishonest with ourselves. Pluto reveals things on such a deep level that might be a lie I told to myself when I was 5 that somehow got embedded in there. I don't even remember where it came from. And now I'm discovering, oh my gosh, this thing that I built my whole worldview around, or one of the things that I built my whole worldview around, turns out it's not true. And that can really be upsetting. Necessary, but upsetting. So just remember, as you're walking through changing the way that you think and the way that you communicate what you think with others, that it's a good time to be kind to yourself. A lot of the things that are being excavated were things that got planted there unintentionally. So blaming yourself won't serve anything. Just be kind to you. If you have Scorpio rising, Pluto will be transiting your 4th house. Your home and your family life are likely to undergo significant transformation, whatever home and family mean to you. This could involve shifting dynamics very close to you in your own personal environment, and this could lead to changes in your living situation as well as your family relationships. You could be moving away from home, or you could have children who are moving away from home. You might actually change the place that you call home. You could also be purchasing a home or selling a home, or all of the above throughout the 20 years. The point is that a lot of it may not be what you envisioned for your future. So you want to just, again, be willing to roll with the punches, be willing to ride it out and to change what you might have expected for your future. If you have Libra rising, Pluto is transiting through your 5th house. This could be inspiring a deep transformation in your creative pursuits or your romantic relationships. You can expect profound and sometimes intense experiences with love, as well as artistic expression. This transit will push you to really explore what you are passionate about. This could also bring romantic partnerships that are unusual or unique to you in your life so far. This can also be a transit about children. You may find yourself expecting a surprise child, or you may already have children and they surprise you by shifting their life direction entirely in a way that you hadn't even imagined. Overall, just be open for sudden changes in your life, again, in the areas of artistic expression, your romantic life, whatever you're passionate about, and what you think your children are going to do with their lives. They're likely to surprise you if you have kids. If you have Virgo rising, Pluto is in your 6th house, challenging you to make significant changes in your daily routine, your work environment, and your health practices. This may lead you towards a place of empowerment around your own physical health. You may be fostering healthier habits, researching healthier habits. You may feel drawn to alternative health options or solutions to health challenges that are unusual to you, that you haven't sought out before. So if you've primarily gone with Western medicine, you could suddenly find yourself drawn to things that are less mainstream, and vice versa. Just be sure, if you're going towards those less mainstream options, that you find a really good practitioner who comes highly recommended, that actually knows what they're doing, because this area is completely unregulated. People will go into this field specifically just to rip people off, which is not saying that that's what all alternative medicine is at all. But it exists there, just like it exists in Western medicine. Sometimes alternative health solutions are just multi-level marketing opportunities, and those are not opportunities. You don't want to do that. So you just want to look, you just want to do your research, you just want to stay grounded. But this is a really good time for you to find something that you hadn't thought of before that actually works for you. If you have Leo rising, Pluto is moving through your 7th house and could be transforming your partnerships and your close relationships. Expect that these connections will become very deep. That may be good, that might be challenging, but that's a push for you toward more honest and sincere relationships. This is not a time where you're going to be able to tolerate superficiality in your one-on-one partnerships. You may find yourself suddenly ending long-time partnerships because you're seeking something with deeper meaning. Because any superficial partnerships don't survive a Pluto transit, trying to make them fit is a really good way to become very uncomfortable and very unhappy. It's difficult to let go of long-term partnerships, but sometimes it's necessary. Also remember that if we're not talking about a superficial relationship, we're talking about one that does genuinely serve you, that is aligned with you, then it's just likely to become a much more deeper and profound relationship. If you have Cancer rising, Pluto is transiting your 8th house, and you'll be experiencing transformations around intimacy, shared resources, and personal power. This is a time for really profound inner work and healing. Pluto transit to the 8th often offers a time to release old traumas that could be holding you back or blocking you in some way, like in your relationships now. So if you decide to heal old wounds at this time, choose a practitioner that you can trust. Be sure to be your own advocate. Remember that you are interviewing them, not vice versa. That's a mistake that sometimes people make when they are seeking help for something that hurts emotionally. It's like we're asking someone to take us on or take on our stuff, and that's not what you're doing. You're looking for someone who is qualified to help you. I once worked in a trauma adjacent field, so we did a lot of referrals for people to heal the trauma. So some of the people that we would recommend for our clients to seek out were practitioners who were licensed in EMDR, brain spotting, or neurofeedback. So if you don't know where to start, that might be a good place. And those are among the most reputable trauma therapies, trauma-specific therapies. So be sure to take care of you if that's what you decide to do. If you have Gemini Rising, Pluto is in your 9th house and will inspire you to explore philosophical beliefs and to expand your worldview. This is a great transit for education or for travel. Those things may sound like they're always pretty much a good idea, but your connection to it is what makes it stand out. Your connection to learning things through travel, learning things through experiencing them firsthand, or through higher education, your connection to that will be deep. At this time, you may also find yourself embracing far-reaching ideas that influence how you see your life. Things that once felt or seemed alien to you may now be unavoidably interesting. So maybe you avoided certain things because it was too weird, or it was too different, just too outside of your own experience. And now those things are going to seem just unavoidably compelling. Your political ideologies could also change during this time or expand. If you have Taurus Rising, Pluto's in your 10th house and it's encouraging big changes in your career as well as your public image. You might discover new ambitions at this time. You could change your professional path radically. Pluto is like a lie detector, so if you have been pretending that you love your career or pretending that this is the right career for you and it's not, and maybe you've buried that so deep that you're not even aware of it anymore, this transit could find you leaving your career suddenly, or suddenly recognizing that you have to go. This could also be retiring or sudden advancement in your field, as well as demotion. If you've decided that you still like what you do, but you're spending too much time on your career, you may want to pull back and do something else with some of your spare time that would end up being a transition of some sort. Your reputation could go through changes at this time. So for example, if you once felt invisible, you might find yourself seeking the spotlight, or the spotlight might suddenly be seeking you. The thing with Pluto transits, there's really no way to control it. So if I'm trying to harness this energy to change my career in a way that I want to, and I'm managing it, it very rarely is going to work unless it just happens to also be aligned with what it was already bringing. Do the best you can to be open to change and just make the best decisions you can at the time. That's all that's expected of you. If you have Aries Rising, Pluto's transiting your 11th house, and it may redefine your social circles and your community involvement. Expect deeper connections with friends, or you may be reevaluating the friendships that you have at this time. You may also be taking a second look at your place within your community. You could also be finding yourself attracted to completely different people. So the social group or the friends that you aligned with before this transit just may not fit anymore. And you may find yourself compelled to seek completely different friends. Those friendships may have been perfectly fine to you before, and now all of a sudden they just feel very superficial. If there was a cause that you found yourself completely wrapped up in up until now, it's likely that you'll be shifting what you feel passionate about. And so you may find a new cause, or if you have never been involved in any causes, you may suddenly feel like you need to be. There may be something that just stands out, just has a spotlight on it, like that. That's what I have to do. That's what I have to get involved in. If you feel that, go with it. It's meant to be. If you have Pisces rising, you're just too sweet for this world. I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, you are, but Pluto is in your 12th house, and it's focusing on your unconscious and spiritual growth. This is a period that may unfold hidden aspects of yourself, and that could lead to a better understanding of what motivates you and what compels you, like on good days and bad, or in good ways and in bad ways. The 12th is also the house of self-sabotage and sabotage from others. So what makes 12th house transits hard, and the way that I usually describe them to people, is that your 12th house is kind of like, it's right back here. Like it's here. I can't really see it. I can't feel it. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what's happening, but I feel something because it's back here, right? If somebody's standing behind me, I can feel them. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is, what's right behind me, but if there's something there, I feel it. That's kind of what the 12th house is like. Like, I can feel it, but I'm unsure. Just that lack of clarity can be scary, can make us nervous, anxious. So this is a good time to seek out a professional so that you can put it into words that can make it much easier to say, oh, okay, it's this. Whereas when it's just that feeling and it doesn't have words attached to it, and I'm not taking the time to sit with it, it can be much bigger or feel much bigger than it actually is. The piece about the 12th house with sabotage from others and self-sabotage is often like our unconscious way of making what that feeling tangible. So by seeking someone else out to process this with, then that's not as necessary. I can't promise you that it won't happen, that you won't suddenly feel betrayed by someone who is very close to you, or suddenly see that you're betraying yourself in some way. So it's a really good time to seek someone out to process that feeling, so that you can make it conscious and deal with it. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate it. I will release more videos specific to this transit, so watch for those. Please feel free to comment with your insights about this transit, your questions about this transit, and I will definitely do my best to get them answered in future videos. I hope that Pluto brings you all the best possible changes over the next 20 years. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because why not? Hit the notification bell so you don't miss those future videos. Have a fabulous day, and take good care of you.